Welcome everybody to the fourth live show. I hope you enjoyed this one. As I do these, I'll probably get better at them over time. Again, this is only the fourth one that I did, so forgive me. And before I forget, I would like to thank you for showing up. I'd also like to thank the moderators for keeping everything cool in the chat, and the sponsors as well. Now, what I'm going to do first is have really three main segments, and they'll be around 10 minutes each. So it's going to be a pretty quick show, around 30 minutes. So here goes. Here's the, I'll just first of all ask you where you're from, and that way we kind of get to know each other. I know, everyone's from all over the place, but I know the folks in the chat, if you want to just pop in here and tell me where you're from. Wisconsin. I know a buddy from Wisconsin. Calgary, Alberta, Canadian. Portugal, Ireland, Saudi Arabia, Boston, Norway, New Jersey, Montreal, Canada, Toronto, right in my neck of the woods, Ontario, New York, Dublin, Ireland, Australia, Russia, UK, Brazil, Mexico, Germany, wow. People from all over the planet. That's very good to see. Okay, let's start this off, and I'll use my trusty phone timer here to start this off, to remind me to go on to the next segment. Now, the first segment will be about Q&As, really questions that have been asked on RodneyReynolds.com. So if you want to ask me a question, or if you just want to ask a question, you can go to RodneyReynolds.com, and there you can browse through, search first, and see if it's been asked, because it might have been asked. And if it hasn't, then you can go ahead and ask the question, and either myself or somebody else will get to it. Usually, I'm not the first to get to it because I have so many other things going on, but usually if you post a question there, it will always get answered, and usually within a few hours. Great group of people over there at RodneyReynolds.com. Okay, so this is a pretty big, loaded question. This was about headphones and headsets. What would you recommend? And I'm going to go with headsets, because headsets are more, well, a gaming kind of product. Something between $100 and $200. Now, there are lots of different kinds of headsets out there. And I myself, I have to say that I'm not really torn up about headsets or headphones. Usually, I like that, kind of like open air speakers all around me, instead of having the headset on me. And I do wear glasses sometimes when I game, so sometimes they pinch your ears and so on and so forth, so, and head, so that's not great. So what the phone call. Well, it's live, so there you go. Okay, so we have a number of different products here that I've written down that I think would be good between $100 and $200. Now, when you go over $200, of course, you're getting into some really nice, expensive headphones or headsets. But these are headsets. So I'll go through these, and we can go through them together. So here we go. Creative, Fatality, Professional, and also Creative. That's a little bit of an older one now. But the Arena, Creative Arena Surround. That's they're both good headsets. Also the Plantronics GameCon 777 is a great headset. And by the way, while I'm saying this, you folks out there in the chat, you can maybe list some of the headsets that you think are great, and maybe the headset that you have that you think is just brilliant. And that way, people who are viewing this can not only get the ideas from me at the ones that I'm telling you or mentioning to you, then maybe they could go and do some research on the other ones that I mentioned. Also, SteelSeries has a couple really good ones. The Siberia version 2, now they're a little bit old right now, but still very, very good. And the SteelSeries 5H and They are a little bit dated right now, but actually I have those and they're fantastic. The new product is the SteelSeries 7H, and that one is really, really nice, I have to say. Also, Razer has a couple of products. The Piranha, which is a little bit old right now, and another product as well. Logitech has one, the G330, also the G35, and Sennheiser has a couple, forgive the pronunciation on that, the PC, I think it's the 146 and the PC 166. So those are a number of headsets that you could look into. Some of those, are over $100. Some of them are like 150 plus, and that's maybe a little bit more than some people would like to spend. But still, if you spend a little bit more, usually you get better quality. Not always, but out of all of those that are listed, probably the best bang for the buck would probably be the SteelSeries 7H or the Siberia version 2. They're just great. They're pretty light on your head, and they don't pinch your ears too much, and that's what I like from a headset. And also the mic is quite good as well. So the next question here is about best video capture software for video games. Now this is an interesting question, and there are a few out there. And again, you folks in the chat can go through the ones that you use, but there are a couple. One you probably already know of, and that is Fraps. Fraps. There's also Xfire, Playclaw, and Growler, and those are some of the ones that you can use. Normally, usually, the common one is Fraps. Now, the issues with using these will slow down your game. So, if you don't want to slow down the game, then the other option is to just get a camcorder or a webcam or something and record it that way. Now I know the quality is not going to be there, but still you could do that instead. So that's a few options for that. The next question is about, is it dangerous to switch the computer on without the monitor cables connected? I guess this person's probably building a computer system or something and doesn't have the monitor purchased yet or connected yet, and I guess he or she wants to know if you turn the system on and if you don't have the monitor connected, will it destroy anything or blow up anything? The answer to that question is no. It will not do any harm whatsoever. Of course, if you do not have a monitor attached, well, you really can't see what the heck is going on. So that is certainly an issue there. But no, it won't cause any problems whatsoever. By the way, if you see me looking over here a lot, I'm looking at the timer. Now this next question is about hard drives. Western Digital has two main series really, green and black. And which is better? Well, it really depends upon your use. If you are environmentally conscious and you're green and you maybe want to save a few dollars, then go with the greens. The other option is to go with the black, which is the performance line, and they consume a little bit more power, and they also are higher performance. So that's the advantage. So if you want a faster drive, go with the Western Digital Black series. If you don't really want performance, or if you're not concerned about performance, then you can go with the green. Now, in some cases, it won't matter at all because, for example, maybe you have a use for the drive as an external drive. Maybe it's a US 2 connection, and you really are not concerned about that. And if that is the case, then of course the green would be fine to go with. And also the greens are a little bit more cheaper than the blacks. The blacks are a little more expensive than the greens. And the final question here is about desktops. Now these are kind of virtual desktops. Having a number of virtual desktops on one display. Many of you probably know what I'm speaking about, and others are going, what? I mean, don't you need to have separate monitors to have different displays? If you are into, Unix and that type of thing, you're going to know that, well, it comes default. You can, have up to as many as you want, quite frankly. But usually, if you get some kind of Unix distro, you can have 4 different separate desktops. And what it enables you to do is have a whole bunch of stuff on one desktop. You can just click on another desktop, then have all the other programs loaded there. You can have another desktop and have all the programs that you want loaded there, so you can fly between the different desktops and have all kinds of different programs, right there and handy with you, to you, without having all kinds of different displays. So it's extremely useful. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure why this is not incorporated within, the Windows operating system. But there is software out there that will enable this. One of them is Virtual Desktop Manager, and the other one, I believe, is by Microsoft themselves, and it's called Desktops. You can do a search for that on Google if you want to find them. That's a couple of options there. Okay, that's perfect timing. Okay, we start again. So, this next segment is about the week's video reviews and poll videos and Q&As and that kind of stuff from 3dgameman.com. Just want to see it here. Now, the video review this week was the Western Digital Scorpio Black 500 gigabyte 2.5-inch hard drive, and I'm just curious if any of you out there have any questions on that particular product. And if you do, you can go ahead right now and ask me that question. Let me just post the link in chat here. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can go there and have a look. What I did was I tested a single Western Digital Black hard drive. Now remember, these are 2.5-inch hard drives, and I also tested another one in RAID 0. So, and I was quite amazed at the performance in RAID 0. I'm just looking at some of the messages here now. Let me just grab those drives. They're still connected. Let me disconnect them. Oh, and yes, the computer was off. These 2 little drives right here. Now, a lot of people, I had a few questions about these drives, and one of them was a concern, for example, of having a couple of these or going with a single solid-state drive. Now, I do have a single solid-state drive actually on this particular system that you're seeing the this live broadcast from right now, and it's quite fast. It's as fast as a couple of these in RAID 0, but I'm just looking at the comments here. People are saying it's a little bit laggy. Is it laggy for everybody, or is it okay? So yeah, going back to a single solid-state drive or a regular hard drive, for example, like this. It's up to yourself. But what a solid-state drive, to be honest, a large one, 256 gigabytes, would be something like $500, $600, $700. So it's very expensive. These are not expensive, not at all, and that's because, of course, they're just standard hard drives, standard 2.5-inch hard drives. Nothing really new about these. But still, what they give you is major bang for the buck, because with a couple of these in the system, you've got 1 terabyte, you've got 1,000 gigabytes of storage, and it truly is, that's the big thing with this. And you'll get similar performance to a single solid state drive, except you'll get like 4 times as much storage, and the cost on this is very, very, very low. So any questions here for these drives? I know some people are finding this a little laggy, and if it continues to be laggy, then I'll have to drop the resolution, but I really don't want to drop it down any lower than 720p. How cheap are these drives? How affordable? I think they're around, let me just check the price grabber here on the site. According to price grabber on 3dgameman.com, they're anywhere from like $40 to like $50 each. You see? For like just over $100, you got a terabyte of storage, and they're fast if you set them up in a RAID 0 configuration. All the particular read-write information, that kind of stuff, is inside of the video review. Just quickly do a search for it. And just to mention, I also did a couple of Q&A videos this week on 3dgameman.com. One of them was fixing drive errors. Now, most of us probably know how to do that. It's very easy. But the reason why I did this Q&A video was because there was a question from a member on RogerMiles.com, actually, about let me just see here. Go back to that question. About drive, clicking noise on this person's particular drive, like hearing some kind of clicking noise, that kind of stuff. So I guess the person was wondering, how could you check for errors and possibly fix them? You know what? If your drive is really starting to make these clicking noises and strange kind of noises, not your standard access noises, because that's fairly normal. And to be honest, most drives these days really do not have a lot of noise coming from them. So, if you're getting a lot of sharp, clicking, scraping kind of, odd sounds from your hard drive, you know what? You should do, a check and make sure that it doesn't have any bad sectors. Sometimes if it does, then the check will fix it and mark them and, move the data if it's movable to another sector and fix it that way. But if that's happening, you should really and truly think about getting rid of the hard drive, backing up the data first, and then get something else, because more than likely, if you get that kind of clicking and banging noises, then you're going to, the drive is probably going to fail. Okay, the other Q&A video that I did this week was about creating a RAID volume, and that was actually using a couple of these, because I had a couple of these kicking around. The other drives that I have here, well, I have other data on them, but I just used these couple of drives. I believe somebody asked, what are they? Well, I'll send you the link again in the chat. The Western Digital Scorpio Black 500 gigabyte 2.5-inch hard drives. And just did a very quick kind of Q&A video on how to set up a couple of drives in a RAID 0 configuration, which would be the fastest performance, to be honest. And it's really the best bang for the buck, but it doesn't offer really any security at all, because if you lose one drive, then you lose all of the data. But you know what? I've been using RAID 0, knock on wood, for a very long time, and I've really never had an issue with that. Now, I do back up a lot of the data that I have, so if something was to happen, I'd be pretty well covered. But still, it's a risky kind of venture in a way, and that's why I think a lot of people probably actually don't do this a lot. They just go with maybe a single drive. And if you're scared of RAID 0 and possibly losing data and so on and so forth, I know sometimes you don't want to do that, because if you lose your C drive, for example, you get a lot of stuff installed on there, and it could take you a while to get it all back. So that's the risk. You got to weigh the risk with the performance benefit. And the poll question at 3dgameman.com this week was a very interesting one. Kind of controversial in a way, because it was about men versus women in first-person shooters. And there's over 1,000 votes on the poll, so it's a very popular poll. And, well, I mean, it's a biased poll, to be honest, because most people who view 3dgameman.com are probably male. So, the men won. 746 votes for the men, and 132 votes for the women. And other. There's 124 other. But, yeah, we clearly won that. Okay. Let's get on with the last segment of the show. Now, I promised an interesting product, and this is certainly that. A very interesting little taboo. When I show it to you, you're probably going to go, I don't know. So should I go ahead and show this to you or not? What does this look like to you? A cigarette? What's this look like to you? A cigar. What are they? They're cigarettes and cigars, but they are electronic cigarettes and cigars. So, is this kind of a health product? No, it isn't. Not at all. And I'll kind of demonstrate here how they work. They have a couple different models here, like menthol, and this is the original one. These are disposable models, by the way. And there's the cigar, and you get a pack here where you got the charger and everything inside of the pack, so you can actually recharge the battery in this. And more here, same kind of thing. This is a rechargeable pack. This is a disposable model. You just peel a little tab right here and pop off the top, and then you start to smoke. Okay. Remember, this is not a cigarette. So this is not, tar and pollution floating around. But, anyone care to guess what's inside these things? I'm smoking, but this is actually an electronic cigarette. And this is a electronic cigar. Right. It's a nicotine inhaler. So, while it still has nicotine, and we all know nicotine is addictive, so I am not condoning these products at all, but when I was contacted by a sponsor of mine, or a contact, I don't think that they were too sure about contacting me in the first place about this type of thing. But I said, send it over, and it probably would make something very interesting for a live show, and it certainly has. I don't smoke myself, so just to get that out there, and I don't condone smoking at all. Now, these products are by a company called Vapor Corp, www.vapor-corp.com. And, you can have a look there if you want to find out more information on them. Now, what are they comprised of here? Well, these are disposable, so they all come together. There's the status LED or indicator light here on this side. This is the battery component, and this is the nicotine and flavor. So they mix some flavor in with the nicotine on this end. These are disposable, but I think you can, I think like 500 puffs or something on this particular one. And the rechargeable ones, well, you can recharge the battery, of course. A couple different battery types in this particular one. And it also comes with the filter plus the nicotine and flavor in the tip here. And you can just disconnect this. So this would go into the charger, and you charge this up, and once this is gone, and it will indicate as well once it's disposed, and then you can just get rid of this. And they have more of these in here, you see. So you've got more of these, and this is the charger, the USB charger, so you can plug this into your computer system. This goes into here, and then you can either plug this into here as well into the AC adapter. I'll just show you here. Just take this apart. This is the battery. Get this out here. So you could plug this into here. You see? And then this could go into your computer system. It'll indicate once it's charged. Remember, the indicator is on the end. And then you just take it out. And you can attach the filter and the nicotine cartridge right here. To show you the AC adapter. So if you don't want to plug it into your computer system, you could plug this into the wall first and then plug this into here. You see? An interesting product, not something that I'm, to be honest, going to be using, but very, very interesting to say the least. And by the way, they do have warnings built into this. So if you puff too much, or like if you just and keep going and going and going, it will actually indicate to you to stop, which is good. That's a good thing. The other thing, I believe it has something else built into it about if you smoke for an extended period and you pick it up again and try again, it will tell you as well on that. So that's kind of cool. You know, to be honest, I'm not quite sure. I'm not a smoker, so I don't know. But I don't know if a product like this would appeal to a smoker, but it might. You never know. It's certainly an alternative. Now, on the packaging, they say this is not, a way to stop smoking or that type of thing. But it might be. I mean, that might be an option for some people, and it might be used for that. But it's pretty neat when you think about it. Just having vapor here in the end and the battery right here. And I mean, it does look like I'm smoking. Because if I took this outside and started smoking it, nobody... You see that? Nobody would know the difference. What does it taste like? Kind of tastes like a cigarette. Kind of weird, really, because you don't really get that same kind of flavor, although I'm not a smoker, so I can't really say that I've smoked too many cigarettes in my life. I've had a few cigars. The cigar, interesting enough, does kind of taste like a cigar. I was very surprised. And by the way, this has no flame. There's no flame on this, you see? Nothing is happening. No flame, it's not hot. No tar, no secondhand smoke, no carbon monoxide, no pollution, and no odor. So I would actually like for somebody beside me who is deciding to smoke to pick up one of these electronic cigarettes or cigars and smoke it next to me, because it wouldn't probably be as harmful, to be honest, as a regular cigarette or cigar. Now, just show you the cigar here. You see this? Looks like a regular cigar, right? You know what? Someone just mentioned James Bond. This would be a great kind of alternative for actors and actresses to be using in movies. Wouldn't that be cool? because they wouldn't really have to, you know, inhale all this tar and stuff. Nicotine, of course, which is addictive, but still, it's definitely an alternative. So here's the cigar. Pretty neat looking. Now this one has a green end, so I'm not quite sure about that. I don't know. They should have really had the flame red. I'll touch the fire, yeah. Somebody's asking me in chat to touch the green fire. It's a new kind of fire. People who are tuning in right now are thinking that I'm smoking up a storm. These are electronic cigars and cigarettes. No tar. All they have is nicotine, which is addictive, which is bad for you. I'm not condoning this product, but still, that's what this is. Very, very interesting indeed. And again, if you want to find out more information on this product, you can go to Vapor, VAPOR -corp, CORP.com. Also a couple other websites here, greenpuffer.com, and I believe there is another place as well. Let me bring this up. I have an email on this about smokes51.com as well.